Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Conversation with Sir Jolly. I'm so glad you're here because we're diving into a topic that affects every single one of us: mental health. Whether it's stress, anxiety, or depression, or just the challenges of navigating daily life, mental health is a cornerstone of our well being. And yet, it's often the one thing we neglect the most. Let's start with this question. When was the last time you truly checked in with yourself? Not just a passing though, but a real moment of reflection. Many of us are so caught up with being busy working, meeting deadlines, taking care of others that we forget to take care of our own selves. The truth is, mental health doesn't wait for the perfect time to demand our attention. It's always there, quietly, influencing how we think, feel, and act. And when we ignore it, it finds ways to remind us through burnout, mood swings, or even physical symptoms like fatigue or headaches. Now, most questions that most people do ask is why mental health matters. Let me paint a picture for you now. Think of your mental health as a foundation of a house. If the foundation is cracked, no matter how beautifully you decorate the rooms, the house won't stand strong. That's why prioritizing your mental health is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Mental health isn't just about overcoming illness. It's about thriving, building resilience, and creating a life where you can genuinely enjoy the moment that matters. Now, let's take a look at the common misconceptions people have about mental health. One of the biggest misconceptions about mental health is that seeking help is a sign of weakness. People always think like that, but that's not true. Let me flip that narrative for you. Asking for help is one of the strongest things you can do. It shows self-awareness and a commitment to growth. Whether it's through therapy, talking to a friend, or even journaling, these actions are investments in yourself. Another myth is that mental health is only for people who are struggling. In reality, mental health is for everyone, not only for the people who are struggling with something. Just like physical health, it requires regular care and attention. Before we go further, it's important to distinguish between mental health and mental illness because they're not the same thing, even though they are often used interchangeably. Mental health refers to our overall emotional, psychological, and social well being. It's about how we think, feel, and interact with the world around us. Everyone has mental illness, though, just like everyone has physical health. It fluctuates sometimes, and it can be strong and resilient at times. Or it can feel vulnerable when we are stressed or overwhelmed. Taking care of our mental health means actively nurturing it through self-care, healthy relationships, and stress management. Mental illness, on the other hand, refers to specific conditions that affect a person's thinking, behavior, or mood, such as depression, anxiety disorders, bipolar disorders, or schizophrenia, as the case may be. These conditions often requires professional diagnosis and treatment. Now, having poor mental health doesn't necessarily mean that you have a mental illness. For example, you might feel stressed or overwhelmed during a tough week, but it doesn't mean you're experiencing a mental illness. Similarly, someone with a diagnosed mental illness can still have good mental health if they are managing their condition effectively with the right tools and support. By understanding the distinction between mental illness and mental health, we can approach mental health with more compassion and reduce the stigma. It's not about us versus them. It's about recognizing the mental health exists on a spectrum, and we all fall somewhere on it along the line. Whether it's maintaining mental health or managing mental illness, the goal is the same: to help ourselves and others live fulfilling, balanced life. I'm going to give you some practical tips for everyday mental health. Now, I want to share a few practical steps you can take to prioritize your mental well-being. Create boundaries. That is number one. Learn to say no when you need to. Protect your time and energy by setting limits that honor your needs. 2, you have to stay active at all times. Exercise isn't just for your body, it's for your mind too. Even a 10-minute walk can reduce stress and improve your mood. Number 3, practice mindfulness. Take a few moments each day to focus on your breath or observe your surroundings. It helps ground you and reduce anxiety. Number 4, connect with others. Don't underestimate the power of a heartfelt conversation. Reaching out to someone to have a conversation with them, just talk with them for 1 or 2 minutes, like your loved ones or your neighbors or your friends or anyone around you, even if it's just to say hello, it really matters a lot. Number 5, seek professional help. If you are feeling overwhelmed, reach out to a mental health professional. Therapy is a powerful tool for growth and healing. Now, how can we break the stigma of mental health? Finally, we need to talk about the stigma surrounding mental health. It's time we normalize these conversations. Mental health struggles are nothing to be ashamed of. They are part of being human. And the more we talk about it, the more we create a culture of understanding and supporting each other. If you are listening to this and feeling like your mental health isn't where you want it to be, I want you to know one thing: you are not alone, and there is always hope for you. Taking care of your mind is the best gift you can give yourself and the people who care about you too. Thank you so much for spending these minutes with me today. Remember, your mental health matters, and it's okay to prioritize it. Take care, and I will see you next time.